You don't wake up one day and suddenly understand yourself. Most people spend their entire lives reacting, not realizing that their thoughts, fears, habits, even their dreams are quietly being shaped by patterns they never chose. Human psychology isn't just something inside you. It is the invisible script running your life. Think about it. Why you hesitate right before taking a big step? Why does your mind replay the same mistakes at night? Why do you sometimes feel empty even when everything seems fine on the outside? That's not randomness. That's your mind trying to protect you, guide you, and sometimes limit you. From the moment you were born, your brain started collecting evidence. Every experience, every word someone said to you, every success, every rejection, it all became data, and your mind turned that data into beliefs. Quiet, powerful beliefs like, I'm not enough, or I have to prove myself, or if I fail, I'll lose everything. You didn't consciously choose them, but now they influence almost everything you do. Here's the strange part. Your brain doesn't care if those beliefs are true. It only cares if they are familiar. Familiar feels safe, even if it hurts you. That's why people stay in situations that don't make them happy. That's why someone can achieve success and still feel like an imposter. That's why fear shows up exactly when opportunity does. Your brain is not trying to destroy you. It's trying to keep you within what it already understands. But there's a quiet power in becoming aware of this. The moment you start observing your thoughts instead of blindly following them, something shifts. You begin to notice patterns. You catch yourself overthinking the same scenario again and again. You realize that your fear isn't always a warning. Sometimes it's just an old habit. And that awareness is where change begins. Human psychology isn't about controlling every thought. That's impossible. It's about understanding that you are not every thought you have. You are the one watching them. Imagine your mind like a crowded room. Thoughts are people talking all at once. Some are loud, some are negative, some are hopeful. Most people get overwhelmed and believe the loudest voice. But what if you step back? What if you simply listen without reacting? You'd realize something important. Not every voice deserves your attention. This is where balance comes in. Because understanding your mind deeply doesn't mean becoming heavy or serious all the time. It means learning when to go deep and when to let go. There's a kind of freedom in not taking every thought so seriously, in being curious instead of judgmental, in asking yourself, why do I feel this way? Instead of saying, I shouldn't feel this way. Curiosity opens doors that pressure never can. At the same time, there's strength and discipline. In choosing your actions, even when your emotions pull you in another direction. The ancient idea is simple. You can't control everything that happens, but you can control how you respond. And that's where your real power lies. Because your life is not shaped by what you think once. It's shaped by what you repeat. Every time you choose courage over comfort, even in a small way, you are rewriting your internal script. Every time you question a limiting belief, instead of accepting it, you are creating space for something new. But here's something people often miss. Growth doesn't always feel good. Sometimes it feels like confusion, like doubt, like not knowing who you are anymore. That's not failure. That's transformation. You are outgrowing the version of yourself that was built on old patterns. And yes, it can feel uncomfortable, but discomfort is not your enemy. It's a signal that you are moving beyond what is familiar. Still, don't lose your sense of play in the process. You don't have to turn self-improvement into a heavy burden. You can explore your mind with lightness. Laugh at your overthinking. Smile at your mistakes. Treat your growth like an experiment instead of a test you must pass. Because the truth is, no one has fully figured themselves out. Everyone is navigating their own psychology, their own fears, their own desires. The difference is some people stay unconscious and some choose to become aware. And awareness changes everything. So the next time your mind tells you a story, pause. Ask yourself, is this true? Or is this just familiar? That one question can open a completely new path. And if you're willing to walk that path, you'll start to see something incredible. You're not stuck. You are just unaware. Now you're beginning to see, and that changes the game completely. There's a quiet moment that most people overlook. It's not when you achieve something big or when life suddenly makes sense. It's that small, almost invisible pause between a thought and your reaction. That's where your freedom lives. Human psychology often feels complicated, but at its core it's built on simple loops. Thought leads to emotion. Emotion leads to action. Action reinforces the thought, and the cycle repeats. The problem is most of these loops run automatically. You think, I'm not ready. You feel fear, you avoid the opportunity, and your brain says, see, you weren't ready. The loop closes. The belief strengthens. But what happens if you interrupt it? What if you feel the fear and act anyway? Suddenly the loop breaks. Your brain receives new evidence. It starts to question its old conclusions. And slowly your identity begins to shift. This is how real change happens. Not through one big decision, but through small repeated interruptions of your old patterns. It's not about becoming fearless. It's about becoming aware enough to not let fear decide everything. At the same time, there's another layer to your psychology that most people ignore. Your need for meaning. You don't just want to survive. You want to feel like your life matters. Like your struggles have a purpose. Like your efforts are leading somewhere meaningful. And when that sense of meaning is missing, even success can feel empty. That's why understanding your why is so powerful. Not the version that sounds good to others, but the one that actually resonates with you. The one that makes you feel alive, even when things get difficult. Because when your actions are connected to something deeper, your mind starts working with you instead of against you. But here's the balance you need to remember. Don't get so lost in analyzing yourself that you forget to live. Yes, reflect. Yes, understand your patterns. But also experience life. Try new things. Take imperfect action. Let yourself be surprised. Your psychology isn't just shaped by thinking. It's shaped by living. There's also something important about acceptance. Not everything about you needs to be fixed. Some parts of you simply need to be understood. Your sensitivity, your overthinking, your intensity, these aren't always weaknesses. In the right context, they can become strengths. The goal isn't to become someone else. It's to become more aware of who you already are and then refine it. And that takes patience. Because your mind won't change overnight. Those patterns have been built over years. But every small step you take, every moment of awareness, every conscious choice, it adds up. Think of it like this. You are slowly rewriting a story that has been running in the background for a long time. And you are both the writer and the reader. So be kind to yourself in the process. There will be days when you fall back into old habits. When you overthink, hesitate, doubt yourself. That's not you failing. That's you being human. The difference now is you can notice it. And once you notice something, you can change it. That's the power of awareness. And maybe the most beautiful part of understanding human psychology is this. The more you understand yourself, the more you understand others. You become less judgmental, more patient, more compassionate. You realize that everyone is dealing with their own internal battles, their own invisible scripts. And that realization changes the way you move through the world. You become calmer, but also stronger. More grounded, but also more open. That's the balance. Depth and lightness. Awareness and action. Serious reflection and playful curiosity. You don't have to choose one. You can be both. So as you move forward, pay attention to your thoughts, but don't be controlled by them. Explore your mind, but don't get lost in it. Grow, but don't forget to enjoy the process. And most importantly, stay curious. Because the more curious you are about yourself, the more freedom you create in your life. Now I want to hear from you. What's one pattern or thought you've noticed in your own mind that you want to change? Or maybe something you've already started improving? Share it. Your experience might help someone else see their own patterns more clearly. And who knows, that small moment of awareness you share could be the beginning of someone else's transformation.